Yesterday was such a beautiful day as we watched the snow come down most of the day. We were outside playing with our granddaughter, and it was just a beautiful wintry day where we are. And as I looked around, I happened to notice a very beautiful sight that has a great spiritual analogy to it. In the midst of all of the trees that had no life and no signs of life on them, all the leaves were gone. They were kind of gray and they appeared, dead. Right in the midst of all of those were beautiful cedar trees and pine trees that were holding the snow on them. Just a beautiful scenic sight. And God spoke to me at that moment about the power of the evergreen. That tree that continues to live and to produce fruit and to enjoy the beauty of it even in the wintertime. And as I began to look at Psalm chapter 1 this morning, it brought that to my memory. So I want to read it to you this morning. Blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. But now listen to verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. I got this glimpse this morning of right in the midst of a world that appears like it's dying. There is no fruit from this generation, it seems. The enemy wants us to believe that. But in the midst of all the darkness and all the chaos stands believers. And we are God's evergreens. We are the ones that continue to flourish and bring forth fruit and create a beauty in the midst of a lot of ugliness going on in the world. Today, you may be in a situation, maybe at work or school or wherever you are, and there's a lot of negative going on. There's a lot of conversation, and there's a lot of attitudes or whatever. God's telling you this morning, you may be the only bright spot walking into that place today. You are not the one who is not bearing fruit. You are not the one who appears dead and lifeless. You are an evergreen. You are the one that has been planted by the Lord where you are for a reason and for a season. And it is to bring forth fruit. So go today knowing that your leaf will not wither, and whatever you do shall prosper, simply because the Lord has planted you there. You do not grow wild wherever you want to. God plants us where he wants us. I have been very blessed to have been able to minister in an area where I was born, where I was raised, where I know people and they know me. That is a blessing for God to allow me to remain planted where he's always needed me to be. But at any point, if God decides to transplant me and move me, then I must be open and sensitive to that, and you as well. Don't grow too comfortable. Always want to be where God wants you to be planted, because that's where you'll bring forth the most fruit. And in the midst of darkness and chaos, you be the evergreen. You be the beauty in the midst of the ashes. I speak and pray that blessing over you today, that you would know that God has planted you where he wants you, and you will prosper as long as you have Him. Be safe, be strong, and be blessed today. And be that evergreen in the midst of this world. Lord's will, we'll see you back here again tomorrow. Until then, may God bless you, may God keep you, and have a great and prosperous day.